This building is actually going to straddle Field Drive, the central portion of those three towers. It's going to go over Field Drive, and the two shoulder buildings, as it were, are going to flank it on the side.
We started talking to contractors 2 years ago.
The interesting thing about this project is it was so large, it took 4.5 years to build.
You know, a building of this size, we want to work with people that we know and that we trust.
I've been with McHugh 28 years. I've done 7 towers for Magellan. I did the very first Magellan project in 2003, and it's been a great ride ever since.
We have built half of the 10 tallest buildings in the United States.
We have the experienced people who understand the complexities, can produce a great plan to do this work. They have the history of being able to deal with the unions and the labor force, and the technology necessary to perform this work successfully.
The original thought was we were starting construction 2 days ago.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel announced that developers have closed on the land, and the groundbreaking for what will be Chicago's third tallest building is now just weeks away.
Those 2,000 construction jobs will be in neither New York or LA, but they'll be right here in the city of Chicago.
We had a meeting with the Wanda group on a Saturday in Beijing.
Wow, this is really happening, this is really happening, this is really happening.
Early on in the negotiations, one of the first things he asked was, how much is the building going to cost? And we had no idea.
We started evaluating the building. So how big is the site? How big is the building going to be? How many stories? What's the floor plates? How big is each floor?
All this. We're walking in what will be the connection between the park and Subwacker Drive. Parking garage will be above us, and the building goes about halfway to that wall over there. And then on this side, it goes all the way to that orange wall.
If they want to know what was there in 1870, I'd be the guy that they would call.
What am I going to hit? Am I going to hit water? Am I going to hit soft spots? Am I going to hit hard spots?
It's very important to know where the utilities are at. They need to know the existing conditions to be able to design the new sewers, the new sidewalks, the column lines, the caissons.
And the rod caissons carry the biggest load, so they're under the tallest portions of the building. And they go all the way down to bedrock.
That's where our construction risk lies.
The city is announcing plans for a major new skyscraper. Mayor Emanuel presented those plans today.
This is an opportunity for the city of Chicago.
95 stories, 1,200 feet tall. The only skyscrapers that will be taller, Willis and Trump Towers.
Building tall buildings takes so many people, so many collaborators.
We have about 100 architects, and they said we have 3,000.
BKL's participation and particularly the work of my team started right at the outset of the project.
BKL is the architect of record, and we manage the design team and all the various consultants. Gensler's the hotel architect. They're responsible for the fit out of the hotel.
The arrival moment that you get, the real wow, is that second floor. And when you're up on the second floor, you're on the north side of the building on the river, and you've gotten up to a point where you can see a little bit of the river. You see Navy Pier and the Ferris wheel.
The best tall buildings are a very close collaboration.
There are a lot of different architects involved in this project because, a lot of the people on the owner's side come from an architectural background.
Tens of thousands of people who will have some hand, if they know it or not, in the project.
The closest thing I can compare it to is being a symphony conductor.
It's an orchestra between the parties. You've got to understand where you got to get to, and you got to just get to that.
We've got a group of really intelligent, hard-driving people who have opinions.
So he does the interviews. From Kuna's always wants him to do the interviews because he's so fucking goddamn handsome.
I clean the shitters.
They come out to like $1.2 million, $1.3 million. These are like $1.3 million. So it's like
Whoa.
Yes.
The only reason these are $1.3 million is because you whacked these.
No.
Because that to me connotates very high end, very luxurious. That's what we're selling, right?
Oh, we get a pig? Oh, Rick, we get a pig.
I need a pig. I need a one pig.
We just need one pig.
No, because then you're going to eat and you're going to go over there. It's not even ready yet.
little put off, but actually at the same time a little impressed that he did that.
Things are happening with the architecture. Plans are changing. There's shear walls that have appeared that weren't there before. As they're doing the wind studies, things are changing. And so it's a little frustrating as a salesperson.
You can't say, these are way too expensive, I'm going to lower these, and then go, oh, now they're the same price as these, I got to lower these.
I didn't whack these.
Sometimes it's struggle.
I'm adding the balcony dimensions because that will be a question that will come up on the...
Oh, people want to know how much they're actually paying for the balcony.
And so far we always manage to work it out.
I'm going to tell them nothing, the balcony's free.
And so every time you hit a roadblock with Wanda and then you figure it out, and I'm sure they're going through the same thing. This is not, we're doing things right, they're doing things wrong. We just do things differently.
He's a very good-looking guy.
Is it for cleaning shitters? I am a good-looking guy. Get the fucking thing away.
When you deal with these super tall buildings, you start having a whole new host of architectural and structural problems.
Once you crack that 700-foot mark, wind becomes a problem.
What we found about a year ago from the wind tunnel results is forces were up, and we had to find a way to make the building designable.
There's a computer model that we've made of the building and kind of idealized the structure, right? And then this is what happens when it vibrates in the wind, that we have these different modes of vibration. It kind of wiggles and wobbles and distorts in the wind.
There was pressure to simplify it.
Final result was a blow-through floor. It's confusing the wind, and it's resolved our problems.
That's just part of this process.
It's working out those kind of very interesting problems that are getting into the minutiae and the detail of it that are going to make this building work.
Pouring concrete tonight. Pouring caissons.
Here you got a tower crane pad right in here, and another tower crane right in here. The tower cranes are valve caisson because on this particular job, I think the tower cranes will jump with the building. So as the building goes up, the tower cranes will go up with the building.
Kevin uses his crane and they add sections of tower to the existing tower. This brings our crane up, this brings our skip up as we build the building.
How far up did you take it?
2 floors this time.
When it was really foggy all week, like, you know, you had that intense fog.
Yeah.
What's that like?
I mean, we're still pretty close here, so you can see everything that's on the ground. Once we start getting up with the building and jump the crane up and that fog rolls in, then everything's going to be off completely with radio signals.
Right, I thought you did radio signals anyway.
It is, but we'll still be able to see from here. But in the next year or so, when the building's up high enough, that's all going to be blind. We won't see any of it. It'll be strictly off the radio.
Like pilots.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would prefer to see out the window, but they know how to fly even if they can't.
Exactly.
Pop up.
So you were out here last week bothering the crane guys, yeah?
Yeah, I got the jump last week, like...
That's why it took us 14 hours to jump the fucking crane.
Because of me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, right. So tell me how they jumped the skip.
That's his.
All right.
Right now they're doing what we call the rails, the dogs, and the ram is just pushing the crane right up, and it's going to keep leapfrogging every one of those connections.
Yeah.
So it's going to leapfrog and just keep climbing up every 4 feet. Depending how plummet's sitting, each one is going to take maybe 5-10 minutes.
So this is the moment right now when it's leaving the ground.
Right.
Okay, guys? That's all wound up. We're only about 8 inches off of those? Yeah.
It's all McHugh today. So all these trucks are printed, waiting to load. These are trucks that are getting loaded and just got loaded. These are trucks on the way to the job, waiting on the job, trucks pouring, this whole column, and trucks returning. But they're off to a good start, so that's good.
We have trucks arriving at an average about one a truck every 2 minutes.
I went to Prairie at 5:30.
Heard you over there terrorizing them.
They were very nice. Keith was a good guy.
They're all solid.
How much is left?
Probably about 500 yards. Probably not even that much. 400.
There is approximately 3,400 yards being placed today.
How cool is that? How 4 pumps going? So what Kevin does here, see how he put the mesh under so it's easy to walk? Never done that before. You can walk anywhere. He's got it.
Why didn't someone think of that before?
Well, it costs money. It's safer for the guys. It's safer for everybody to walk around. That's the guy who counted every piece of rebar in this thing.
Yeah, how much is there?
He counted every piece. 1,280,000 pounds.
It's about 1.2 million. The last pour of this size was the mat for Trump Tower, which we did about 9 years ago.
And then when does this start going up?
Monday morning.
Monday morning?
Monday morning.
This starts going.
We start stripping and start working walls and going up.
I'm doing a head count. Can you tell me how many countries you think you've met people from?
Like 20 countries.
Where are you from, my friend?
Bosnia.
Bosnia?
Except for this guy, Mexican. The other guy, Morsi. Funny guy.
You're the star of the.
I'm not ready for the camera yet, so I'm not ready for it.
You haven't had makeup.
I have no makeup on. I have my hair. I don't know nothing about moving my hair.
Oh, you've got pink hair. It looks like it doesn't take you too long to do your hair.
I haven't shaved or nothing. But he wants to be either Bosnian or Mexican. He don't want to be Ireland.
He doesn't? He wants to be Bosnian?
He wants to be Bosnian or Mexican. He can't. He don't.
You're not decided yet.
Here we go.
You guys are much uglier in the light.
What is it?
I said you guys are much uglier in the light.
See, oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's my brother right there.
That's your brother?
Yeah.
You guys obviously had different mothers.
No. Maybe different father.
This is the one guy who wants to be either Bosnian or Mexican. Hollywood.
Right there, that's the one.
Let me tell you something. He definitely does not look like a Mexican. There's no Mexicans that look like that. They're probably
I'm too tall, let me tell you.
too tall. Can you guys put something like an orange line there or something so people know?
So the car.
That seems like a
yeah. The car.
Answer me one question. Did you guys not work the other day?
Of course we did.
No, when it looked like there was no, like one day when it was really, really foggy.
It was Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, you did have a day off.
No, some guys were here. Some guys were here.
Oh, some guys.
Yeah, some
The good guys were here. The good guys were here.
I mean,
yeah,
you know, probably like 12 o'clock and...
I went to Shamrock Club for a few brewskis.
I forgot you're Polish.
I'm Irish. I can't wait to come to work every day, learning something new. I work with these great guys and go home safe. That's all it's important. Simple as that.
The other buildings is little small ones, and this one is real big. Sometimes we come in downtown and I show my daughters, look, I work in there, you know.
I'm ready for